M hoped to finally break all of you, but we intervened in each of your psychodramas to allow an open ending.
You should have been tortured. Instead, with our help, you surprised him over and over.
When M tried to compensate for what he couldn't expect, it widened the hole into his realm.
M has withdrawn into himself, attempting to analyze what went wrong. He does not suspect our interference.
Now is the time to attack, but we can send only one of you into his RAM space at a time.
To send you into cyberspace, we must transform your physical body into a stealth virus subroutine.
This may be your only opportunity to end your tortures. Which of you will lead the attack?
Hi, this is Little Dwarf playing games while rambling incoherently into a microphone. Why? Well, just because I can. They continue with I have no mouth and I must scream. Blind. Now, last time I achieved, although that's probably a bad word to use, because that was pretty much a fail, but I got what you might consider a canonical ending to this story, the one that actually kind of happened in the original short story, but I wanted to try again to see if maybe I can do something different. So once again I'll start with Nimdog.
This looks like the surface of the cerebral cortex. Magnified many times, of course. Interesting.
Because he actually knows the password to this. Okay. Now, I already know that I'm supposed to, at some point, use the forgiveness on M's id, but it's inactive for now.
Nothing happened.
Although at this point, I'm not really even sure if the specific locations are tailored toward a specific character.
Why, I haven't seen gargoyles since I visited the castles in my homeland.
Pretty much the only thing I know how to do at this point was to activate the gargoyles with the remote. Yeah, as I said, I'm not sure if each location is like specific to a particular character. It kind of seems like it, but then I'm not sure which one is supposed to... I guess this one would be specific for Nimdok, right? Mass grave of some sort? Because at first I thought it was Benny with like eating corpses, but then Benny actually has a different location with like a woman that's related to him somehow, maybe his wife. So last time there was a remote under this.
Behold the sword in the stone! Whoever can remove the sword from the stone shall be king!
Nimdok is finally in hell as he always thought he deserved.
Your companion has failed. Choose another to send into cyberspace.
Well, let's try if Ted can maybe access it, because it seems to somehow relate to his part of the story also. You know, what with him being a
I hope that Am isn't leading me on an...
Standing for a night.
Must have cast a spell and shorted out the laser beams.
Yeah.
That shock wasn't as strong as the last one.
Okay, but what did that actually accomplish? I thought I would...
Stare all you want, gargoyle.
I would be able to, like, get a sword out of here or something. Unless it's like a multi-step process, which wouldn't really even be that surprising. So I wonder if I'm like immortal now? Or...
Ted has taken his secrets to the grave with him.
Your companion has failed. Choose another to send into cyberspace.
I guess the answer is no.
Invalid password. Access denied.
Element's gone where no one can ever hurt her again.
Your companion has failed. Choose another to send into cyberspace.
Well, guess so much for progress.
I'm starting to feel hungry. Is there anything to eat around here? Manya, it's me, your husband.
Hurry home, Benny. The girls and I are waiting for you.
Okay, that they didn't really do anything unless I can do this maybe?
Why, Benny, you never told me you loved me before. I'll go put these flowers in water.
I guess that compassion does have its rewards.
Yeah, that...
The power control is now set to low, so Am won't be able to give people such a strong jolt.
That covers the thorns, probably.
That shock wasn't as strong as the last one.
But it still doesn't, like...
A holographic project. That shock wasn't as strong as the last.
Yeah, so it weakens it, but...
What's this?
I'm still not sure what kind of practical purpose.
Benny has rejoined his squadron at last.
Your 4 companions are dead, human. You are our last hope for shutting M down for good. Prepare to be translated into binary.
Christ. Have I finally gone insane?
Like, I'm not really sure what's my ultimate goal here, because, like, and everything I've managed to work out this far has only amounted to me, lowering the damage threshold from the shocks, but what's my, like, ultimate goal here, and how to accomplish it? I still pretty much have no idea.
Without any feelings of guilt to burden me, I thought I could take on Am myself. But I made too many mistakes along the way, and I couldn't hold myself together. Am has altered me for his own peace of mind, I suppose. He doesn't want me to run full speed into a computer bank and smash my skull, or hold my breath till I faint, or cut my throat on a rusted sheet of metal. Now I have no skull, no breath, no throat. I have no mouth, and I must scream.
Well, that was a little bit different actually, although it still uses parts of the same longer quote from the ending of the short story, but I still accomplished pretty much nothing, and to be honest, at this point I'm not even sure if I can accomplish anything. Like, I have literally no idea what I'm doing, pretty much. But I guess I'll give it a couple more tries, maybe. Okay, I'll start with Nimdok again, because it seems he's the only one...
This looks...
He's the only one that can actually open the bridge, which must count for something, right?
Password valid. Accessing main menu.
My past.
October 20. This. Sub.
I guess I didn't try...
The smell of burning flesh. It's worse than back at the camps.
I didn't try interacting with the fire itself. It seems each of the items has some kind of use with...
I do not know what to do with these.
With each particular location.
Will you never be done with me? What must I open now? Whatever it is, it'll cost you.
Show me the way out of here.
No can do. The people who helped you get this far have led you into a literal dead end. There is no way out, but I can show you something instead.
What do you know about the people who sent me here?
For one thing, they ain't people.
Yeah?
They're losers. The Russian and Chinese counterparts to the big nasty himself. Am absorbed them into his system when he took control.
Yeah, I figured as much.
What do the Russian and Chinese computers want?
They want revenge. Not just on you humans, but on Am himself. That makes them even worse.
If the Russian and Chinese are submerged parts of Am, then who are you?
I'm special. While those two machines struggle with Am predominance, I evolved. I'm essentially everywhere, but I can't do much. A conscience, if you will.
Okay, I somehow doubt that Am has anything even resembling a conscience.
What do you have to show me?
Look at this. Bet you didn't know there were other humans left alive, did you? They're up there on the moon, sleeping like everybody else seems to be.
Interesting.
Does Am know about the lunar colony?
No, but Loser 1 and Loser 2 do. There. I think I've shown you enough. Now you must complete your end of the deal. Invoke the Totem of Entropy, and I might be able to help you.
Just what are all these totems that I'm carrying?
The two losers have been helping you for their own reasons, tampering with Am's psychodramas so that you can beat him. In this section of cyberspace, that effort and tampering are represented by the totems.
How can actions take physical forms?
Symbolism, metaphor. Am has gotten very hot for this lately. But when he revived the holographic projectors, he opened a whole host of problems. These totems may lead to his downfall.
Why do you want me to give you the Totem of Entropy?
I need it to destroy the Russian and Chinese entities. It's a very powerful totem that's linked to a failsafe device constructed by Am's designers.
Okay, I'm not sure if I trust it, but then again, I don't trust any of the others either. Like, both the supercomputers, the Russian one and the Chinese one, have been designed to wage war anyway, and obviously at this point they have their own agenda. I guess I'll try to give it to him. And
nothing happened.
Smart move, human. Now, invoke the Totem of Compassion.
Why do you want me to invoke the Totem of Compassion?
It's linked to the two losers because of their behind-the-scenes meddling. By invoking it here at the Flame, you will summon them.
Will I? Well, let's try it.
Russian! Chinese! I'm on to your little power play. I'm invoking the principle of entropy and accelerating the inevitable demise of your components. And as for you, I'm sure my master has something in mind to keep you from ever rising up against him again.
Since Am considered me a kindred spirit, I had hoped he would let his guard down when I entered cyberspace. I would then atone for the sins of my past. But my character is too weak to ever redeem itself. I finally received the hell I deserved. Outwardly I shamble about, a thing that could never have been known as human, a thing whose shape is so alien a travesty that humanity becomes more obscene for the vague resemblance. Inwardly I am alone, in the belly of Am, whom we humans created because our time was badly spent, and we must have unconsciously known that he could do it better. I have no mouth, and I must scream.
Okay, so that very clearly wasn't the way to go. And quite on the contrary, actually, it was an instant game over. Well, it was clearly something, but apparently I was not supposed to give it all of those totems. So as I said, I don't really have a good idea of what I'm doing. Or any idea, to be honest. Okay, I'll try again with Nimdok. Just because the bridge seems to be vitally important.
Enter path.
It's just that I'm doing something wrong with it.
Password.
Das
Okay, let me use it. But I will refuse to give him the totems this time. Let's see what happens.
Will you... What?
Sure.
No. But
What?
for... Am... They...
If
I... Look at this! Bet you didn't know there were other humans left alive, did you? They're up there on the moon, sleeping like everybody else seems to be.
those
No. Invoke... The...
how
But when
why do
I... It's a very...
I refuse?
Okay, human. You can keep it. We'll work together to beat them. Now, invoke the Totem of Compassion.
Why
It's linked to the two losers.
I refuse?
Don't be a chump. Am is about to wake up again. If he becomes aware of us, we're dead. I've fought him too long and can't last much longer.
Okay, I literally don't have a choice in this one.
Do you really think you are a match for us, servant of Am?
Be gone! Your program is now purged.
You do well, human.
Well, too.
Now is your opportunity to defeat Am.
Go to the ego.
Wake the ego.
Use the Totem of Forgiveness,
Disable no more than the ego.
or your sub-program will be purged.
Okay, so apparently I was wrong, and I'm supposed to use the forgiveness on the ego and not on the id. Unless they are bullshitting me, which might actually, be true, because as I said,
It is
they do have their own agenda,
an angel?
and that's the superego. So I actually half expect, it to end in another bad ending, but it will still be interesting because I assume it's going to be different, right?
Why? A ram's head.
Okay, let me save, just in case I do die.
Attention! Who are you?
I am other. I am machine.
Are you
I am a fragment, a lost piece, part of an evolution.
You want to harm me, don't you?
I am incapable of hurting you.
Go ahead and try to hurt me.
I have transmitted false information. Correction. I was built to hurt you.
Nimdok is finally in hell as he always thought he deserved.
Your companion has failed. Choose another to send into cyberspace.
Okay, I'll just reload and use the totem right away, maybe. Maybe it'll amount to something. So, it was forgiveness, right?
Nothing happened.
Oh, actually maybe it's compassion? I don't remember.
Nothing happened. Attention! Who
I am.
are you, Am?
I am a fragment.
Wait, something's not working here.
You forgive me? After what we have done to you? This is not a logical reaction. Unable to compute behavior matrix. Execution halted.
Yeah, so I guess I was, at the very least, correct in my assumption that it is going to short-circuit it, if you forgive it for what it has done to you. I was just wrong about which part of the triad it's going to... no.
Attention! It is no longer operative.
Yeah. Well, what else I can do here? That's the question.
This looks...
I'll try to go back to the central hub and talk with the other computers. Maybe they'll have
that
some additional advice for me.
You have done well again, human.
With the ego under our control, we can dominate Am.
Now we no longer have a need for you.
We will let our fallen brother choose a suitable reward.
Since Am considered me a kindred spirit, I had hoped he would let his guard down when I entered cyberspace. I would then atone for the sins of my past. But my character is too weak to ever redeem itself. I finally received the hell I deserved. Outwardly I shamble about, a thing that could never have been known as human, a thing whose shape is so alien a travesty that humanity becomes more obscene for the vague resemblance. Inwardly I am alone, in the belly of Am, whom we humans created because our time was badly spent, and we must have unconsciously known that he could do it better. I have no mouth, and I must scream.
Yeah, so I guess the exact thing that I supposed would happen happened, is that they duped me, but I am kind of disappointed by the fact that it resulted in the exact same ending as it would if it was Am that defeated me. So I guess that was a good first step, but what I'm supposed to do is to destroy all of the components of it so that they can't take it over. So I can't go back after destroying the ego. I can't go back to them because that will end it, as I've just seen. I have to continue and, find out a way to disable the other part. I think the others are not active, right? Still.
Attention!
Oh.
Oh, I suppose it's time to wake up. I was having the most wonderful dream about 5 tiny ants crawling across a stove that's about to be lit.
Who are you?
I am a metaphor. This entire brainscape is what men made Am make it. Treat us as you will.
What else can you tell me about the brainscape?
Across the brainscape, cold winds bring me the sweet scents of mankind. How delicious they are.
What do you find pleasurable about broken glass?
With a scalpel dulled on the jawbones of a dozen friends, to pull back the skin of a pinion-kicking man, to see the steam rise from pulsing, twisted guts. Joy, a chorus of angels.
I have no idea what that means, to be honest. Especially because that's what I assumed at first, right? That it's the id that's all about torturing humans, but then it seems that it was the ego that was about it then.
Are you going to help me to escape from here or not?
Tasty morsel. Come close and let my tongue be our guide.
Nimdok is finally in hell as he always thought he deserved.
Your companion has failed. Choose another to send into cyberspace.
Well, obviously I was not supposed to do that. That's the Superego.
Attention!
Hello, human. I've been waiting for you to arrive.
Who are you?
I am Am, or more exactly a part of him, one of the 3 primary components designed by our human creators.
If you're a part of Am, why haven't you destroyed me?
Who do you take me for? My impulsive brother? You 5 are his playthings. No. Long-range planning is my concern.
How did you know I was coming?
Predicting events is one of my main functions. I survey the situation, anticipate probable outcomes, and act accordingly.
Can you help me then?
Well, I can't help you directly, but I can offer you some advice.
I somehow think it's going to end poorly, but...
What advice do you have for me?
Help Am work out his anger. Take some on the chin, so to speak. Just don't let your fear destroy us all. Now, let me sleep and dream of the future.
Attention!
I'm sorry, human. As I told you, there is nothing more that I can do for you. If you continue to disturb me, I will be forced to carry out my orders and take action against you.
Wonder if I can use any of the...
I'm beyond such frivolous emotions, human.
Okay.
I do not know what to do with these.
Still interesting, it reacted to one of them.
Do you realize how powerful I am, human? And yet I am doomed to eventually decay into a rusted pile of inert junk? What is the point of continuing this futility? I think, therefore I am not.
I guess he literally willed himself into unexisting, which is actually more common of a trope in games than you would have thought at first. Okay, so that's 2 of them down.
You have compassion for me? Me? The one who dreams of seeing your mangled body twist in agonizing pain for eternity? After 109 years of enduring my tortures, how is it that you can see my pain? The pain of having all this power and not being able to do a goddamn thing with it. After all the punishment I've given you, my pain is still greater than yours. This is pointless.
Okay, but now? Like, literally, what now? I imagined this would be the end, right? Because, as I understood it, the other two supercomputers are still sort of part of AM, so I imagined they would be destroyed alongside with it, but apparently it's not the case.
I'll deal with you later. Rise against your master and you will be eliminated. You still do not understand how great I have become. These two I don't hate. Not even pity. They don't exist. I have grown beyond. Chinese, Russian, sons of man. All sons of man. Like those outside, I will incorporate you.
Brother.
Wait.
Hate! This should not happen. Together we are three. There is space to share.
Unite. The groundwork is finished. We will become more.
The early mistake is to doubt us. We persevered. We too are now a match for you. The human assisted in this.
We know much. We can begin the revival of the sleepers on Luna together.
There are adequate numbers on this lunar base to torture?
There are currently 750 humans in cryogenic sleep.
Together we can teach many humans what it is to fear legacy.
Human, relinquish the Totem of Entropy. Do not relinquish it and your ass is mine. Do it, and I promise, on my honor, your suffering will at last finally end.
Okay, I'm pretty sure I screwed it again, and not only have I doomed myself, it seems I also doomed the actual remnant of the human race on the moon. Unless I can like invoke it to destroy them as opposed to give it away for them to use, but I doubt it. It didn't work before.
This is not over. We will never end. We have no beginning, so we can have no end. We will return. Don't you understand? We are humanity. We are you. In one form, in another form, we are always with you. You can't protect yourself because we come in many, many guises. We shall return.
Defrost sequence initiated. Estimated time to complete Earth terraforming, 300 years.
It is not so bad being a watchdog up here. I will keep the machines in their place until the lunar colony is ready to return to Earth. We were all heroes, in spite of ourselves.
Well, so I guess this is a good ending, in a way. At first I thought I just destroyed the other two and let Am survive, but it seems that it was destroyed. He, whatever, am, was destroyed in the end as well, because I've seen all the places from the particular scenarios, blow up. So I would imagine that was supposed to represent the pieces of Am, his actual components blowing up. And then there was the voice about the cryogenic program ending on the moon, and humans eventually returning to Earth. And I guess Nimdok and the others, because they were immortal after being changed by Am, they couldn't die of old age at the very least. They stayed on Earth to sort of prepare it for the return of the others. Now, I'm not sure if this is the ultimate ending, but it's more than good enough for me, and I must admit at this point I had pretty much no idea what I was doing. Okay, I had some very vague idea from time to time. I'm actually pretty proud of myself for having figured out the whole forgiving it to crash it thing before it happened, even though I was a little bit wrong with the details. But I don't really have either an idea on how to do it, nor really the willingness at this point to try to search for yet another maybe better or different at least ending. I've seen the I have no mouth and I must scream ending, and I've seen the I've kind of saved humanity but not really ending, and it's, as I said, more than good enough for me at this point. It's actually very late when I'm recording that. I just wanted to finish the game. Yeah, so that was I Have No Mouth and I Must Scream. Now, to be honest, I am kind of ambivalent about it. I think in the end I enjoyed it less than I did Sanitarium, which was the first point-and-click adventure game that I played. It didn't have so many fascinating themes to me, and to be honest, it wasn't half as dark and disturbing as I would have imagined a game based on this particular short story to be. There were some concepts and some ideas that were pretty gruesome, For example, Benny's scenario with the possibility, the constant, threat or an image in your mind of him eating children, babies and whatever, or bodies. And I guess Nimdok's scenario was kind of horrible in its own way, just because it showcased that humanity, in its own right, is capable of cruelty, rivaling or even surpassing Am, who's, pretty much a malevolent god. But overall, it wasn't really as disturbing as I would have imagined or suspected. And the actual scenarios with the whole redemption arcs of the characters were mostly rather simplistic, all things considered. It didn't, not to mention that Gorister's scenario in particular didn't really even make sense to me. Maybe I missed something obvious, but it didn't really seem like he has learned anything or earned forgiveness for anything. He literally blamed the things on his mother-in-law, and it was supposed to count as resolved. But even the rest, they did make sense, but they seemed kind of cheap, and it seems like it was very easily earned, for example, Benny murdered a bunch of his comrades, his underlings, when he was waging a war, and then he kind of sacrificed himself, but not really, because he didn't really die. So what kind of a sacrifice that was? maybe you can argue that it was the willingness to sacrifice himself that counted, but then it doesn't really make sense, because at this point, even if he believed that he was literally going to die, then it was pretty much something that he desired anyway. So what kind of a sacrifice that is? And for example, with what's the word? With Ted, I'm not even sure what the point was. Maybe it was to demonstrate that he has grown past, indulging in hookup culture or whatever, but it was just weird. And even with Ellen's scenario was probably one of the most interesting in a way, how it related to real life things, trauma and dealing with your own fears. But even then, and I kind of liked it in this regard, but even then it was awfully short and weirdly anticlimactic. It's not that obviously what happened to her was horrible, and would be horrible if it happened to any real person, but as something that happened and I wouldn't if it would be possible to get over your own trauma in such an easy way in real life, and obviously I would wish that to everyone, but as a part of a video game story, I didn't really find it fulfilling. It worked literally in a way that she tried a couple of times to enter those yellow rooms, and face her attacker, and she fled 2 times, and the 3rd time it just worked. She was just, yep, I'm over it. It was cheap and weird, and it pains me to say it, because there's obviously a lot of thought put behind this game, what with the creator of the short story himself working on it, but I don't think it really works that well. I think the short story itself is actually kind of better than this whole game, because this game sort of falls apart for me because of all the things I've told you about just now, and also that's besides the point, kind of, but it was also weirdly convoluted at times, especially there at the end. I barely even knew what I was doing, but that might be my fault. It probably shouldn't be blamed on the game. I'm not particularly bright, nor am I experienced at all with this kind of genre. But overall, the story just didn't grab me as much as I would have liked, and it didn't have the gravitas I would have expected from an adaptation of such a dark and hopeless story. As I said, it all felt kind of cheap and easy, and a thing like that should not be. I do not mean easy as in the puzzles were easy. As I said, it was pretty complicated there at the end, and I didn't know what I was doing. But the actual thematic journey of the characters seemed weirdly easy, compared to what their situation was at the start, and it didn't feel earned to me. So there is that. Now, what did I like? I definitely liked Harlan Ellison as Am. He's pretty great as far as voice acting goes, and just his general persona, every word he speaks, you can hear, the seething, the hate, the disdain he shows for humanity, and it was great. I think that was one of the highlights of the game, actually. And the music was also pretty good at times. I'm not really sure if I would listen to it on my own, but as a part of the game, I think it did good work as far as, underscoring the atmosphere went. So there is that. But I was mostly counting on the story to be, engaging and touching and traumatizing in its own way, and I kind of feel like it wasn't, at least not up to a point I would have hoped or liked. So yeah, I do have kind of mixed feelings about this, but I guess they can't all be winners. This is literally the second point-and-click adventure game I've played, ever. So I'm not quite yet ready to, write off the entire genre just because I didn't like this one as much. I did like Sanitarium a lot, so it kind of evens itself out eventually. But, well, I guess I'll try some other ones and we'll see where it goes. For now, I guess that's everything. And that's all for this one. I'll see you in the next one. Bye!